Dear friends and dear guests of the forum, it is a pleasure to see that we have the same digital priorities at the same moment, at the same time, as I see both in Brussels and in Winnicy. People are looking and developing the solutions which present time requires from us. Indeed, technological solutions have already come into our lives deeply. At the same time, they don't offer legislative solutions which citizens will be able to refer to in order to develop successfully working government system. Digital security combines many issues involving critical economic and civilian stakes, cybercrime, online privacy, and the protection of fundamental rights. Research in this area addresses security, trust, and privacy coherently from all perspectives: technological, economic, legal, social, enabling us to promote innovation and economic growth in the European Union while protecting Europe's society, economy, assets, and fundamental rights. The European Parliament, with its regard, develops the legislation base for them in order to make the harmonization and the use of such solutions coherent, consistent, and proper. Among recent important documents which the European Parliament approved on 14th of April 2016 and enforced in May 25 in 2018 was the General Data Protection Regulation, the so-called GDPR, which I would like to focus at in more details. What is it? General Data Protection Regulation. It regulates the processing by an individual, a company, or an organization of personal data relating to individuals in the European Union. Where it is applied. The GDPR not only applies to organizations located within the European Union, but also applies to organizations located outside of the EU if they offer goods or services to or monitor the behavior of EU data subjects. It applies to all companies processing and holding the personal data of data subjects residing in the European Union, regardless of the company's location. The rules don't apply to data processed by an individual for purely personal reasons or for activities carried out in one's home, provided there is no connection to a professional or commercial activity. What is a data protection officer? The next very important solution in the GDPR. New position as data protection officer has to be implemented as well. Data protection officers must be appointed in the case of public authorities, organizations that engage in large-scale systemic monitoring, or organizations that engage in large-scale processing of sensitive personal data. If your organization doesn't fall into one of these categories, then the organization doesn't need to appoint a data protection officer. What if the deadline is missed? If the GDPR deadline has been missed, it is imperative the business in question acts urgently to become compliant. Demonstrating strong data rights management is important to both customers and employees. They should understand why the data is collected and how it is handled on a legal basis. Of course, after GDPR implementation, all my friends in the European Union, including me, were a bit frustrated receiving hundreds of mails from all the organizations, institutions and projects which we never attended somehow in order to accept the changes. I even heard the definition of GDPR spam as a joke, but both with a good sense of humor and solid consciousness, we understand that with the help of such documents, we have to increase the trust of the citizens on their data privacy, and the European Parliament will be continuing to develop workable legislation solutions with this regard in the future, for example, a privacy directive. In case if you will have any questions or comments, feel free to contact me via Facebook or Twitter. I will be happy to hear from you your opinions. Meanwhile, I wish you a fruitful meeting and good luck. And at the end, I want to say, if you in Ukraine will implement some rules important for the General Data Protection Regulation, I think that it will be easier for your companies, for your organizations to cooperate with European Union's firms, companies, enterprises and organizations, also at the public level, I think. So start to implement it, discuss about the rules and the significance of the GDPR, and at the end understand how important for the digital revolution and the development of digital solutions is the trust between clients, consumers, citizens, users, all of us, and companies, because trust is the background for the future development. Thank you.